to welcome our employees, customers, dignitaries, and airport officials, media members, and senior leaders with United to celebrate the connection of Washington, D.C. to Cape Town, South Africa. This is an exciting day for our airline, for the airport, and our region. This is also a historic week here for the Dulles family. On Tuesday, we celebrated the opening of the Metrorail Silver Line station at Dulles here. And today we celebrate this new nonstop service to Cape Town, but also the 60th anniversary of this airport. Now, United began our operations here more than 35 years ago. And back then we had 58 departures, serving 24 destinations. Today we've grown to 3 times that size, now operating to more than 100 destinations around the world. And so with today's historic inaugural Cape Town, South Africa, I'm proud to say United will continue to grow our operations here at Washington Dulles International Airport and obviously around the globe. And it's with that I have the honor introducing the man behind our ever-expanding network alliances, Patrick Quayle. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, so much. It's great to be here. First, want to recognize the U.S. Department of Transportation. Without them, this would not be possible. So really appreciate the U.S. Department of Transportation. Also appreciate the Assistant Secretary. Without her and her team working diligently with the South African government, we wouldn't be here tonight. And so it's a real pleasure to lead all the women and all the men who make the network possible, all the places that we fly. And it's really special because if you look back to 2019, we launched our first flight to Africa. We didn't have any. We launched our first, which was Newark to South Africa, Cape Town. And so it's special to be here tonight because this is now our 5th flight to Africa, 3 of which are right here out of Washington, D.C. And so it's all about growth and connections, and to be able to go to such a beautiful place like South Africa, and particularly Cape Town, to make it so much easier to connect cultures, to connect the governments, and to connect people, because that's what we're in the business for, is connecting people and making it easier. I think you'll see when you go there to our passengers why it captivates your hearts and why it captivates your minds, the smell of the ocean, the wonderful sounds. It's just a really, really special place. And so I'm really, really, again, proud and honored to lead the fantastic women and the men of the department, to look at where we're flying, to be partners with MWA, and right here in Dulles Airport, which is growing incredibly fast. We're coming off the summer where we just became the largest ever airline across the transatlantic ocean. So we are now the single largest airline across the transatlantic ocean for the first time in our 97-year history, which is a really, really big deal. Thank you again for your loyalty. Thank you for all of your help and help for making this route possible. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce the President of United Airlines. This is a gentleman who's a true visionary, someone who's helped lead the company through COVID, through the bounce back, and now into the future. Again, our President, Brett Hart, more importantly, a friend. Thank you.
I'm going to start taking you everywhere I go. So I have the best job of the night because I get to officially thank those who were involved. And I think that when we think about something as wonderful as what we're doing here today, which is launching the inaugural flight to Cape Town, it does not happen without a lot of support from a lot of different people and entities. And it's important to stop and say thank you, and to make sure that everyone appreciates what they did for us, because we'll be asking again. Isn't that right, Jen? So we want to keep this growth going, and we want to visit more incredible places around the world. So I'd like to start by saying thank you to Secretary Buttigieg and the Department of Transportation. Their work with the South African government to actually identify additional frequencies to make this flight possible was where it all began. So we're really appreciative of that, and we're grateful that Katie Thompson is here. She is from the Department of Transportation. You'll hear from her shortly. Also want to thank the U.S. Department of State. And Rick Scott is here, and we'll hear from him as well. They were integral in helping us in this process as well. And of course, Jack Potter is here from MWA. We'll hear from him. And TSA and the Customs team as well. I do not want to leave out our wonderful United team. It all begins and ends with you. You were fiercely supportive of us getting this frequency, and we know that you are the ones who will make it an absolute success. So we appreciate everything that you do for us and for the aviation industry. I just want to, before I go, I want to say something that flights like this are a wonderful addition to our network. But what we also appreciate and what we have to appreciate is that this is also about economic empowerment and making connections between two great cities. This flight will absolutely change people's lives. It's just a reality. Businesses will connect. People will get a greater understanding of cultures, and wonderful things will grow from this single flight. So again, for all of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this flight. We trust that you will all take it at some point in time. And we're grateful for the opportunity to service Cape Town from Washington Dulles Airport. I'd also like to introduce Her Excellency, who has also become a great friend. And I told her just recently that I will be visiting her at some point in South Africa. Ambassador Mfeketo. She also, this is especially great for her because she is also the former mayor of Cape Town. So this is full circle for her. So. We're saving all the applause for you. Without further ado, Her Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, because of saving time, I'm not going to be calling everybody who's on this paper. Save to say, welcome. And thank you for the opportunity to say a few words at this auspicious occasion as we gather to launch United Airlines Flight 2222 from Washington, D.C. to Cape Town direct. Cape Town is South Africa's second largest city and a melting pot of creativity and cuisine, ranking among the most beautiful in the world. 4 towns in the Western Cape Province is Knysna, Stellenbosch, Hermanus, and Cape Town. These were recently among the top 100 most loved places in the world. A global consumer sentiment analysis conducted by Destination Market Agency, Destination Think, as a bucket list destination. South Africa is a destination filled with wonderful adventures, and experiences are high on travelers' priorities. According to Expedia 2022 Travel Trends report, more than 2/3 of Americans, which is 68%, are planning to go big in their next trip. And nearly 1/3 plan to visit a bucket list destination this year. This resurgence in international travel is something those in the South African tourism industry and government are eagerly awaiting. Despite the travel bans on South Africa in 2021, American tourists continue to visit South Africa. I'm grateful to the efforts of all role players, including travel agencies and United Airlines that continue to promote and fly to South Africa during 2021, for their sterling efforts in keeping South Africa in the hearts and minds of our US friends. As an illustration of the confidence in South Africa, as Prime Tourism Market United has added direct flights to Cape Town. This, no doubt, is due to the increase in demand of US visitors wishing to travel to South Africa for business and leisure. In closing, let me commend United for its operations, not only to Johannesburg and Cape Town, South Africa, but also its expansion into Africa in particular, and in particular Southern Africa. The code share agreement between United and South African Link offers customers more connections between the US and Southern Africa than any other airline alliance. The new agreement, which is subject to government approval, will offer one-stop connections from the US to more than 40 destinations in Southern Africa. This new cooperation will be in addition to United's existing partnership with Star Alliance member South African Airways. To all on this inaugural flight, have a safe journey and bon voyage. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you for those remarks. Now, I have the honor of introducing Katie Thompson, the U.S. Department of Transportation's Director of Bipartisan Infrastructure Law Implementation.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure to join you this evening, and I will say I send the regards of Secretary Buttigieg and Assistant Secretary Petsong, who between those two and their teams have done all the work, and I get all the pleasure. It's really an honor to be here with you, Ambassador Mkato, and the United Airlines team on this momentous occasion to showcase the department's support for United's new flight. One of the department's responsibilities is to negotiate international market access for air services like this flight today. Earlier this year, DOT was faced with a difficult decision when 2 U.S. air carriers applied to implement new flights to South Africa, and there were only 4 weekly frequencies left under our U.S.-South Africa Air Transport Agreement. As you have already heard from others here today, there are many benefits of this new Washington-Cape Town flight, and DOT worked tirelessly to find a way to get all of the proposed flights cleared for takeoff. Our celebration here today is the result of successful negotiations, a strong partnership between the Department of Transportation and South Africa Department of Transport, and an optimal outcome not only for passengers, but also for those moving cargo around the world. This is good for business, it's good for tourists, shippers, and investors on both sides of the Atlantic. It's clear to us at the department that the U.S.-South Africa aviation market is evolving and growing beyond the scope of our 30-year-old agreement, not just for passenger flights, but also for air cargo. Going forward, it will be our job to work with South African counterparts to ensure that we are not standing in the way of all of the possibilities to connect our 2 vibrant countries. Since 1992, under the department's Open Skies policy, we've focused on expanding market access by taking governments out of commercial decision-making, letting markets and airlines decide which services make sense. We believe that now is the time to add South Africa to our club of 130 Open Skies partners from around the world. We look forward to working together with our South African colleagues to create new opportunities for airlines for both countries by growing and modernizing our aviation partnership. That way, we will have many more new flights, just like United 2222, to celebrate in the future. Thank you all, and I wish you a pleasant journey for those of you traveling to Cape Town. I'd like to turn it over to Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Southern African Affairs, Rob Scott. Rob?
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Mr. Bird, Mr. Quayle, and Mr. Potter. President Hart, Your Excellency. Very pleased to be able to join you here. This has been a great year for our relationship, for the relationship between the United States and South Africa. In August, Secretary Blinken went to Pretoria and visited, and he also launched the administration's strategy for Africa in South Africa. Then we had President Ramaphosa come in September. We have this flight, and now we will also have the African Leaders Summit coming in December, where we are looking forward to, again, welcoming a delegation, and we thank you so much for your work, Excellency, in that effort. So we've had great conversations between our two countries. And what we've also seen is that one of the most important things that we talk about is trade and investment. And then investment is also in human capital and in connections between people. But what we see is that this relationship, whether it's business or culinary, is going to grow because of this flight and because of flights like this one. And we certainly hope that they continue to expand. We're extremely proud that Americans represented the #1 source of tourists into South Africa. And again, this will continue. As the ambassador knows, as the former mayor, we're coming and we will continue to come. If I can speak parochially for all of my colleagues at the State Department, a huge cheer went up when we found out that this flight was going to be taking place. We want to give... if they can hear us, all of our colleagues at Consulate General Cape Town, Embassy Pretoria, watch out, we're coming. And just on a personal note, just to speak about the relationship, our 13-year-old twins know Hout Bay. We spend our winters a little time there whenever we can. We land, we go to Massimo's for the best pizza. We get up the next morning, we go around Chapman Peak to Noordhoek Beach. And I wish everybody who's taking this flight to have the same kind of experience and to go back again and again, because it is a stunning city. Thank you so much.
It's now my pleasure to introduce CEO for MWA, Jack Potter.
Thank you, Henry. This is a very important day for MWA. Let me just say, it's so important that we have 4 of our board members here. Our chairman, Bill Sudo, other board members, Tim Poole, Bob Lazaro, and Mark Unkefer somewhere in the crowd. There's Mark. So thank you all. Our airport manager, Rich Golanowski, somewhere in the back, and Paul Bobson, our vice president for airline business development, is here, and he'll be joining you on the flight. So, Your Excellency, I want to thank you for being here today. You made it very special for all of us. Earlier, Brett said that he asks, of us, and we're happy to comply. Well, we're asking you, Brett and Patrick, for more flights to Africa. We now have tied Kennedy Airport with the most flights, direct flights to Africa, and we hope to be #1 very shortly with their help. So, as Henry said, this is a big week for MWA. We opened the rail. Ribbon cutting was on Tuesday. Today we're celebrating our 60th anniversary, and what better way to celebrate it than service to Cape Town. So again, thank you for the timing of it. It was perfect for us. And later today we're going to have a reception and a dinner. And I know many of you who are not on the flight are going to join us there. So again, we really appreciate it. We've had a strong partnership with United Airlines for the 35 years that was mentioned. And we're excited about the future and growing with United in this metropolitan area, serving them not only domestically, but around the world. And so, again, hats off to United. Congratulations, Your Excellency. and we're looking forward to many folks coming through our airport headed to Cape Town. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you to all the representatives tonight. What a wonderful, wonderful evening, what a wonderful opportunity with this flight. And so without further ado, let's get on to cutting the ribbon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have the flight attendants and the pilots step forward, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay, can we go back further?
Yeah, back farther.
Yeah. It's gonna be a wide group.
Yep.
Okay, you good?
Let me show my watch. Name your frame down.
Hey, do you want to do a countdown? Hey, do a countdown?
Okay, we're going to count on when I'm going to count down from three.
Countdown.
Do not move up until I get to 1. 3, 2, 1, cut.